Bring digga ding. What's up, my dudes? Finally, we have fully customizable two-strokes in a Supercross game. Holy nuts. So, before I rip Milestone an absolute new one, let me just explain right off the bat, this is the best possible thing they could have ever came out with the DLC. That, I absolutely love that two-strokes are finally in this game. I just want to say that, right? I absolutely love that. That is like such a big deal to me. But my whole issue with it is you gotta look at the history books here, okay? So we're sitting here looking at all the different two-strokes right here, and I'll kind of go through and explain this to you a little bit, but I gotta get the, the history leading up to this moment for you to understand what the heck's going on here, right? So Milestone first introduced the two-strokes back in MXGP 2 or it might have been MXGP 3, I'm not really sure. And every single one of their MXGP games up to that since then have had two-strokes. So like MXGP Pro, MXGP 2019, MXGP, all them games have had two-strokes for free. They were not paid DLC at all. They were just in the game. Two-strokes, okay? So, you got to understand the fact that we've not had two-strokes in the first 3 Supercross games, for God knows what reason. This has been one of my big complaints towards a lot of these, Milestone games, Supercross games specifically. It's like, where the hell's the two-strokes? Where are they at? A lot of you ignoramuses try to say things like, oh, Spencer, it's a Supercross game. It's supposed to have two-strokes, right? Some of you Milestone blind defenders out there tried to say things like, oh, Spencer, dude, you're not supposed to have two-strokes in a modern-day Supercross game. Oh, you can't have two-strokes in a modern-day Supercross game? That's really interesting, because here we are, Supercross 4, and we have all kinds of two-stroke action. Okay? So, no, it was not just them not being able to have two-strokes in a Supercross game. They just didn't have it in there, period. For no real apparent reason in the first 3 Supercross games. So, the fact that they didn't give it to you in all 3 of those games, and then now they finally give it to you, but it's paid DLC. Of all things, it's paid DLC when they give you two-strokes for free in their motocross games. That is ludicrous. That is, I don't even know what you call it, dog. That's EA level money hungry, greedy, there's just no doubt about it. Like, they 100% should have just had these two-strokes in the very first Supercross game for free. And we should have had two-strokes in every single one of these Supercross games. There is just no doubt about that. So, the fact that, now they give it to you in Supercross 4, and it's $9.99 to buy it. To buy the two-stroke, 250 two-stroke pack, right? This is not even all two-strokes. This is just 250 two-strokes specifically, which would lead you to believe they're eventually going to come out with a, potentially like a 125 two-stroke pack as well. So odds are they're going to come out with another DLC that's 125 two-strokes that's going to be another $9.99. So if you want the real full two-stroke experience of Supercross 4, you're going to have to spend an extra $20 on the game. So I'm just letting you know, yes, this is fucking awesome that we have two-strokes finally in a Supercross game. It is amazing. But, it is the most bullshit, money-hungry, greedy way they could have possibly done it. I just want to put that out there, right? And, none of these other YouTubers are going to come out here and say that to you straight up and say it like I say it. That's the real Spency boy. That's the real, I'm going to tell it like it is, dog. So, either way, now that we got that out of the way, the interesting thing that might confuse some of you guys here is the fact that some of these two-strokes are customizable, like fully customizable, and some of them are only somewhat customizable. So that's a little weird, but for instance, the Suzuki it already, like if you go to it here, I'm already selected on it. I'll kind of show you. If you go to the components, right, you can obviously change the handlebars, grips, handguards. You can't change the seat. You can't change the suspension. You can't change the exhaust. You can change the rear sprocket, which is going to give you a slight bit more acceleration. I'm talking like a fucking fingernail level more acceleration. And you can change the tires, which is going to give you a little bit more handling, braking, change the rims. That's going to give you slightly more handling. You can obviously upgrade the brakes as well. It's going to give you more braking. But as far as the seat, suspension, and exhaust, you just can't change it. But it's already like it has somewhat of a modified level to it. You know, it's not just like it's running this bone stock level. For instance, if you look at the stats over there, pay attention to the speed and acceleration. Like, it's pretty damn high, right? If you go over here to a Yamaha, you can fully customize the Yamaha, right? So we got that selected. You can go in here and customize everything. Seat, suspension, exhaust, everything, right? But you can look over there at the speed and acceleration stats, and they're not as high as what the Suzuki was by default. So you're not really losing anything by not being able to upgrade the suspension and exhaust on the Suzuki, because it's already kind of sort of like it's a stock but modified, you know, stats kind of suspension and exhaust on the bike. You see what I'm saying? So, and one thing I also want to throw in here, what Milestone is probably going to do, now that they have, you know, look at the smoke rolling off that bitch. That's badass, dude. I love the way that looks. Two strokes never die, dog. Two strokes are never going to die. Two strokes forever, baby. God dang. Love me some two-stroke action. But what's probably going to end up happening here is Milestone will come out with these two-strokes as paid DLC in Supercross 4, and then when Supercross 5 rolls around, they're just going to give you these two-strokes for free, not paid DLC, and act like it's some brand new feature in Supercross 5. Oh, we're finally giving you a two-stroke in Supercross 5, right? I'm just saying Milestone has done that exact same thing with multiple things before. Okay? So, if you don't remember, the very first Supercross game, when it first came out, didn't even have a free ride track on it at all. Not at all. And then they gave you a free ride track. By the way, you already had a free ride track back in MXGP3 before the first Supercross game, and then Supercross 1 comes out, there's no free ride track at all, so then they put one in it as paid DLC, right? Make you pay for it, pay for something that should have already been in there. And then all the Supercross games after that just gave you a free ride compound for free. It's the same way with the coloring the tough blocks in the track editor. You know, the new little feature that they added back in Supercross 3 as paid DLC, right? Where you could color the tough blocks, color the start flames and all that horse shit, right? They added that back in Supercross 3 and then just gave it to you in the Supercross 4's track editor and acted like it was just some new feature, when in reality it was actually just a paid DLC. Like, holy shit, Milestone. That's just one thing I want to mention in this video. I cannot stand when Milestone makes something paid DLC that should just be in the game. Like a free ride track, or two strokes, or coloring the tough blocks in a track editor that is so not as many improvements to it as it should have, right? They're going to have to stop doing that shit. So it mind baffles me that they didn't just give you these two strokes for free when this game very first came out. It's just so beyond me. But either way, you know, EA Milestone. Whoops, is it EA or is it Milestone? I don't know. Either way. So, let's get to the gameplay of these two-strokes here. And by the way, I am going to let you guys hear the audio of the two-stroke here in a minute. I'll crank the volume up and shut my ass up here in a second so you can hear the audio of it. But one thing I want to mention right away is these two-strokes are pretty damn fast in this game. That's the first thing you're going to notice about them. I love the implementation of the type of speed that these 252 strokes have in this game. You can tell they didn't try to make them too like hyper realistic where it's like you can't even jump anything on them, you know, because they're 2 strokes with less torque than the 4 strokes, right? I really love how it reminds me a lot of how the 2 strokes are in like reflex, right? They're very, very competitive with the 4 strokes in the game. That's how they feel here in Supercross 4. And you guys know right here, I'm on the stock Suzuki RM250 right here. Got a little Travis Pastrana action here at the old St. Louis, right? But as I said before, the Suzuki, even when you have it stock, it's still going to be pretty bad to the bone out of the box because it kind of has that like pre-upgraded, you know, exhaust and suspension and all that. The only real improvement you can make is as far as to the speed of the Suzuki is going to be with the rear sprocket adjustment, and maybe the tires might give you just a little bit better. I don't know how much that's going to give you on speed, but from the box though, like the Suzuki is going to be hauling ass. We'll get on that fully upgraded Yamaha YZ250 here in a second, and I'll kind of show you that. But my whole point is like you can hop in here on a stock Suzuki and get around a track, right? Like you can basically hit all the same kind of jump rhythms that you're going to hit on a 450. And I just like the way they feel. Like you can tell they put some effort in making these 2 strokes feel different than the 4 strokes in the game. You know, they have a little bit different of a power delivery. They feel like a 2-stroke would feel, but like a 2-stroke with a NOS button on it. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what they feel like in this game. They feel really good. I really love the fact that they did that. I just wanted to say that they made these 2 strokes a little faster than they probably would be, like in real life in comparison to a 4-stroke on a Supercross track. They made them a little bit faster so that they can be a little more, you know, competitive. Let's go to a different track here, different bike. I'll kind of show you some more shit. But I really like the way they're actually how they are in the game. You see what I'm saying? I like the way they feel. I like the different kind of power delivery. They feel a little bit more like spin out at first, but when the power band hit, they kind of feel like they have more of a power band hit to them than the 4-strokes do in this game, which is, you know, accurate. That's cool that they made them feel different. They don't just feel like exactly like the 4-strokes, but just with a different sound. You see what I'm saying? Like they actually feel different in this game. That's one thing I really wanted to mention here. Let's go a little different track action. Let's get on the old Yammy. The old Yammy, huh? So the only thing I don't have upgraded on this Yamaha is the brakes, but who the hell needs brakes? You know what I'm saying? I wanted to go to Glendale. Yes, sir. Okay. But, yeah, I mean, you know, it's hard for me to tell you guys to not buy this DLC because it's such a big element to a dirt bike game. I mean, 2-strokes just add so much more. I can't tell you the amount of fun I've had on 2-strokes in games like Reflex and, you know, shit like that. I mean, it's going to add a lot to this game when you buy this $10 DLC, $9.99. And if you call right now, you can get an extra 125 2-stroke. Yeah, 4 easy payments of $29.95, right? Either way, it's just, yeah, it's a really awesome DLC because you've never had 2-strokes in this game, but you're kind of missing the whole point if you think like that, because the real, you know, I'm a very, it's all in the, how do I explain this? First of all, let me make sure I'm hitting these big daddy fatty rhythms, but like, you can still hit the rhythms. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like, oh shit, I'm on a 2-stroke. It's going to be like way harder to hit the rhythms on a track. It's really not like that, man. These 2-strokes are hossing in this game. They're big hossing, dog. They ain't no joke. Like, you're going to be able to hit the bigger quad lines and stuff like that when you get in here certainly on one of these. Just to give you an example, the stats on this Yamaha right here, the acceleration, or is that what it's called in this game? Acceleration or what? I think that's what it's called. I know you have top, whatever's under top speed, right? Make sure I got this camera like I want it. Yeah. It's all the way up. The acceleration attribute is all the way up when you have this Yamaha 250, you know, statted out. You have it fully upgraded. There's a triple right there. Ooh, that's going to be a stretch to do that. But what I'm saying, though, is like it can't have any more acceleration as far as stats-wise. You understand what I'm saying? I'll go in there and look at it again here in a second, kind of show you what I'm talking about. But, like, it fully does those stats, kind of like it does in Reflex, you know? When you're on there on a 252 stroke, you can actually get the stats to be, like, maximum in certain things. But the 4-stroke is going to be better in certain areas because of the torque of it in the games. You know, it's kind of the same way with the 450 in Reflex as well. It's, you know, the torque of the 4-stroke kind of makes it just a little bit better, but like these 252 strokes are still very, very competitive in this game. Yeah, so I just wanted to kind of mention all that. But they have a cool little different feeling to them, man. They really do. But I think 100% we're going to get a 125 two-stroke pack in this game as well. I think there's really no doubt about that. And, you know, I guess they're smart as far as business standpoint, but at the same time, you gotta it's all about the principle of it. It's all about the, you know, like how money hungry. Hell, they're already a game that makes 2 motocross games a year that, you know, for the longest time has had the lowest amount of improvements we've ever seen in motocross games. So they're already, you know, money hungry in that sense. But then when they start going down these features that should have already been in the game and then making it paid DLC, not only should it have already been in this game, but it's already in their motocross games. That's what's just like mind-boggling about it. You already have it in your fucking MXGP games. Just put it in your damn Supercross games for free. Okay, let me just explain it like this. For some of you guys that want to be like, well, Milestone's a business. They got to make money, Spencer, right? Okay, well, let me just explain it like this. So, Milestone, you do realize if you would have just had these 2 strokes in this game, and said that it was going to be a new feature in this game leading up to this game when you were really promoting this game and had 2 strokes in the trailer, had you just had all these 2 strokes in there from the beginning when this game first came out and didn't have it as paid DLC, I swear to God, you would have sold more copies enough to the point to where you would have made more by doing it that way, by just having it in the game. You would have sold more copies of this game by just having it in the game to begin with versus how much you're going to make off of it by making it pay DLC. You do realize that, right? Like, I hope you understand that. You know how much more hype would have been generated around this game in particular if you would have had 2 strokes in the trailer and, oh my God, we're finally giving you 2 strokes in a Supercross game? It's just stupid. It's stupid business because you would have made more like that versus what you decided to do, which was come out with the game and then make it paid DLC microtransactions to get it. It's just like, what the hell? You're stepping over $1 to pick up a penny. That's exactly what you're doing right now. And now you've now split it between a 252 stroke pack, and now you're probably going to come out also with the 125 2-stroke pack. So now it's going to be like this split thing where certain people are going to buy like the 252 stroke pack, certain people are going to buy both of them. But like, why? I can't fathom it, boys. Can't fathom why they would do that. It's just so stupid. But either way, I'm glad to see it in the game. It definitely adds a whole nother level to the game, whole nother kind of fun factor, whole nother kind of, you know, things you can do in the game, you know what I'm saying? Certainly gives you a whole nother level of that. But without further ado, let me turn this audio up and shut my ass up so you can hear the actual audio of this. Alrighty then, so that is what the two-strokes actually sound like in this game. I'm not sure if it changes like from bike to bike or from exhaust to exhaust. It may make a slight difference, I'm not really sure, but yeah, the audio's not like terrible, but at the same time, it's also not like, blow your brains off or anything. It's just kind of okay. That's kind of what I would say about the audio. Let me get my lines down here, but like you can still hit these 450 lines. I mean, you really can, man. Like, let me show you one in particular up here. This one right here for sure. This one's tricky because you gotta like hit the triple actually a little slower, then you can hook. But see, like you can still hit stuff like that on it, So it's still a very competitive bike, fun. I'm glad they made these two-strokes fun in this game. They feel like fun bikes to ride. They're a little more peppy, like I said, a little more like that, kind of like you're hitting a NOS button, They definitely have seemed to have captured more of that power band, instant power band, pull you out of your shorts type feeling on these bikes compared to the four-strokes in the game, which is really cool. I like how they kind of gave it that sort of feeling. Oh yeah, smoke blowing through the air, dog. That is sick. So either way, it's unfortunate that this is how we had to get it. It's unfortunate because it is so money hungry, so greedy, so should have already been in there for free 4 games ago at this point. But, I'm happy to finally have it. If this don't go to prove to all you idiots that defended Milestone to the bitter end about how they shouldn't have two-strokes in the Supercross games, or there's no reason for them to, or they can't have two-strokes in the Supercross games, well, okay, I hope this goes to show you that, yes, they could have had these two-strokes in their Supercross games this whole entire time, like I said in all those fucking rant videos. But no. Let's just continue to defend Milestone over and over and over on completely indefensible things. Like, it's just beyond me. But I'm never going to stop being real about this shit. I'm never going to stop telling you exactly how this goes down. And just watch them. Just watch them. They'll have two-strokes in the next Supercross game for free and act like it's a new feature like they never had it in any Supercross game before that. Just watch. Watch that shit play out, dog. That's exactly what they're going to do. They've already done that with so many other things, because technically we didn't have two-strokes when Supercross 4 very first came out, so they can still play on it and act like it's a brand new feature if it's there when Supercross 5 first comes out, right? So, either way, man, I'm just saying, I'm really happy to see it, but I'm really happy that it's actually customizable two-strokes and not just like the Rick Johnson Legends DLC two-stroke that we had in Supercross 3, right? That was kind of like not even really having a two-stroke in the game, just saying. This is actually, the first time we've actually had customizable two-strokes in a Milestone Supercross game. I know, it sounds crazy that, we literally had two-strokes back in MXGP 3, and they didn't have two-strokes in Supercross 1, 2, or 3. It's mind-boggling. It's insane. And then now they finally give it to you, but it's paid DLC. I just can't get over that. I can't get over how stupid that is. Like, you just can't do that kind of shit, Milestone. You can't do it, dog. This paid DLC microtransaction shit that they do, that, they started doing that back with the, with MX versus ATV Alive as well, which was one of the dumbest decisions that MX versus ATV ever made. I'm just saying, that was one of the dumbest things they ever made. And that game didn't even have 252 strokes, minus the little, secret one that you had on that free ride track back in Alive. But holy shit, why can we not just have the standard 254 strokes, 454 strokes, and 125 two-strokes, and 252 strokes in these modern-day motocross games? Why can't we have that? We had it in all those old-school dirt bike games, but I swear to God, it seems like such a struggle for these motocross games to have all those different kind of bikes in their games. That's like what you should have bare minimum. You know, yeah, once you start going into having like 50cc bikes and 500s and, you know, TTR 125s or whatever the hell, you know, yeah, that starts getting a little bit more specialty and a little bit more, you don't expect it in a dirt bike game, right? But I fucking expect there to be 125 two-strokes, 254 strokes and 2 strokes, and then 454 strokes. Your 4 main pillar CC bikes that you have out there, that's just what you expect. And you've not even had that in so many of these different games, like MX vs. ATV Alive, Supercross 1, 2, 3. I mean, there's just so many of them at this point now. It's just insane. So, and then now they're going to give it to you in Supercross 4 as paid DLC. You see how silly that is? You know what I'm saying? It's just beyond me how stupid that is. But either way, man, that's your 2 smokers in Supercross 4. I'm going to be making a couple more videos on these 2-strokes in particular, so definitely have that notification bell turned on for my channel. Make sure you get all those notifications to keep up with all the content here, because there's a lot of stuff, a lot of cool stuff coming out with these games and whatnot, but we'll see what comes with that future DLC. Certainly think we're going to get a 125, you know, bike pack and all that. We'll see if they come out with like a 85 and a 500 bike pack. I really doubt that, but we'll see. We'll see what the, you know, a lot of people have been talking about them coming out with another Great Legends DLC pack. So we'll see kind of the vibe that has. But yeah, either way, man, these 2-strokes are fun. And I mean, I know there's a lot of people's going to buy this DLC, and Milestone's counting on that. That's why they made it paid DLC instead of just giving it to you. But so yeah, I mean, I can't really tell you to not buy it because it's 2-stroke DLC, fully customizable 2-stroke DLC. I mean, it's pretty, you know, pretty big DLC. But at the same time, it's like, son of a bitch, that should have just been in there. But either way, man, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.